Welcome back to 2016, the podcast. It's been a long time, guys. I've been kind of lazy lately. Not really, but lazy in the sense of making the podcast. I am out here in beautiful Fort Worth, Texas, out in a park. I'm not talking too loud because I don't want people to hear me. But I got these fancy new mics from the TikTok shop. Hopefully they work good. But just want to start today with a little icebreaker before we get into what I really want to talk about. I recently listened to a podcast talking about a podcast while making a podcast. Well, look at the layers we have here. But the guy was talking about how everything's the same now. You go to every city, you're able to get a burger, a taco, Indian food. All the apartments look the same. They cost a lot, and it had me thinking. He was trying to argue like you should go to the South and it should be the South. You shouldn't have West Coast, East Coast things. Like he wasn't saying no, but he said we're kind of losing culture or like specific things about each city and atmosphere. And while I agree, I also disagree with it because if I'm in Massachusetts and I want a cheeseburger, I should still be able to get a cheeseburger. It's America, you know. That's the one great thing about our innovation is I can get a cheeseburger wherever I want. But the main thing he was trying to get at is that everyone's the same. We all consume the same things. We're not very niche. Everything is everywhere. And it had me thinking. If you asked anyone, and think about this is a question for you right now. What is your favorite year of all time? If you ask someone that, most people probably don't have an answer. They'll probably say the year they're born or the year a team won a championship. But does that one day defy the year for you? I mean, your team won a national championship or a world championship on one day. Does that defy the whole year? No, it doesn't. You may be the champion for the whole year, but I don't think it defies your whole day. I mean, it might defy the day, but not your whole year. Excuse me. And I feel like I am one of the few people. I'm not trying to say I'm better than everyone else, but who can specifically say that I have a favorite year of all time, 2016. And you know what? I feel like we need more of that. More people need to have something they like. They need to have that one year, that one day, not that one day, that one year, that one instance, that one niche that made them who they are. But anyways, that was our little icebreaker. I hope everyone got you thinking. Like, I hope you're thinking, what's your favorite year now? And maybe at the end of today, you can think about what's your favorite year. But even more than that, guys, we got a good one today. So I've noticed that only people that listen to this podcast are my mom and her friends, so I have to explain stuff a little more than I want to. So today we're talking about XXL, which is a size, but it's also a magazine. And I don't know how they started, what their profit margins are, or anything like that, but I do know that every year they make a magazine as well. That's how I know them, and they have a YouTube channel. But every year they do an XXL freshman class, and so they take who they think are the next up and comers in hip hop, mostly hip hop and rap, and they make a freshman class out of it. It's kind of like compared to like the NFL. It's like your rookie class. It's like they go out and they say these people are up next. These are going to be the next greats. And of course, 2016 had the most iconic XXL class of all time. They went like 7 for 9, which is rare. Usually, only one of like the 10 people they pick turns out to be a star. But in 2016, 7 out of 9 of them went crazy. Now, we won't be talking about all of them. I'll be focusing on 5 because so every year when they pick their XXL freshman class, they put them on the magazine, they take all these photos, they interview them. But the thing people like, what everyone listens to, was the XXL Cypher. Now, Cypher, I honestly don't know what that means. I don't know the actual vocab of it, but I know it in context. I can't give you the definition of it, but in this context, Cypher is the freestyle rap that they do. So they get all the freshmen together, like, all right, you're talented. Prove it. You got to freestyle to this beat around all your other peers. Pressure's on. Straight from the dome, no written bars. It's iconic. So in 2016, I know older audience might not know who some of these artists are, but these guys are huge. These are the biggest of the big. They're massive for my generation, at least. The 5: Little Yachty, Little Uzi Vert, 21 Savage, Denzel Curry, and wait, why am I blanking on the last one? Lil Uzi Vert, 21 Savage, Little Yachty, Denzel Curry, and Kodak Black. Oh my gosh, how did I forget Kodak Black? But this guy's, you had to have known at least one name there, even if you don't listen to rap or anything like that. This was an iconic group, and it was literally the best freestyle of all time. Like when I say, if you ask anyone in my generation what was the best freestyle of all time, 2016 XXL Cypher. Literally, they went 5 for 5. So, like I already said, like usually the XXL freshman class goes like 1 for 10 on like stars. So they already went 5 for 5 with these guys. And for some reason, they did two separate ones. Like one of the 5 guys did one video, and then the other guys in the class did another.
Hey you guys, this is Adam from the future. My mic actually died and I didn't realize it while I was recording. So the audio is going to have a little bit background noise for the rest of the video. I apologize, but at least you get to hear the whimsical nature with my questionable voice. Peace.
Because I think the other guys were less freestyle guys. I'm not really sure. But these 5 are really important. In the other group, there's this guy, Anderson Paak. He's really good. He's really important. Little Dicky. He is another part, but he's not important. He's kind of washed. But we're just focusing on these 5 from this video. For some reason, they separated them. I don't know the method of the madness there. But, so like I said, usually each year, only one of the rappers they pick is really good. This year, they went 5 for 5. And then usually when they do the freestyles, only one person is, half the time, none of the freestyles good. They're so bad. Because, they all have ghostwriters, they don't do their stuff themselves. They just have good flow and voices when someone gives them the material. But they literally went 5 for 5. Probably the greatest freestyle rap of all time. And honestly, an iconic beat, too. It was just amazing. And so if you follow me on Instagram, 2016, the podcast, you'd see I did a little post about this already. They have each, I think the lowest out of the 5 artists, I think the lowest amount of streams one of them has is like 13 billion. That's insane. And it's kind of awesome to see this group because it had a weird elevation, growth. They had a weird growth to them. So like when they first came out, Little Yachty, 2016, he came out with Little Boat. His nickname's Little Boat. Now it's Little Concrete. It's a long story. But in 2016, he was kind of the meme of them all. Like, he was a good artist, but his music was funny. Like, it wasn't as good as it was just like, it was funny to listen to. Like, yeah. It was like, it's catchy music. It wasn't like artistic. And now, like 10 years later, it's like a complete switch. Like, he's probably the most artistic one out of all of them. He won Best New Album for like, what was it? It was like an alternative rock album. And he went from the XXL Freshman class to alternative rock album. It's insane. And also Denzel Curry, who's probably the second least unknown in 2016. He's probably the second most significant now, just because he has elevated his artistic value to an insane level. He went from like making short films to like feature films. Like, it's insane how much growth he's had. Now in the moment, 2016, it was Kodak Black, Lil Uzi Vert, and 21 Savage. They ran it. Lil Uzi Vert dropped Love Is Rage. Lil Uzi Vert was the mixtape guy. So if you don't know what a mixtape is, it's not an album. It's like something you release on the internet and don't really make money on. Mostly on SoundCloud. We're going to do a whole nother episode on SoundCloud because a lot of this crosses over, but I wanted to focus on the XXL Cypher. So Lil Uzi Vert was our mixtape guy. He dropped a lot of mixtapes. He was like your underground, just goated. He was iconic, especially for middle school Adam. All my friends know Uzi. And he's still iconic. He still drops bangers. Like, he was just like these super upbeat beats. Like, he was dancing. It was dancing hip hop music. Like, when you think of like TikTok dances, that was Lil Uzi Vert. And then you had 21 Savage, who was secretly British. We didn't know at the time. He dropped Savage Mode in 2016, which was like your hardcore gangster music. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna kill some people, shoot some people, crazy stuff. But it was like cool to listen to. And he was cool. I think he claims Atlanta, I believe. I'm not sure. And then you had Kodak Black, who was your Miami, South Florida guy, just like 5'2", tattoos everywhere. Super gremlin. He's a gremlin. That's his nickname. Well, that's one of his songs. He calls himself a gremlin. So that kind of explains him pretty well. But, man, you just had to be there. Honestly, that's the best way to be. You just had to be there for Kodak Black in his prime and Lil Uzi and 21 Savage. Now, don't get me wrong. Those 3 are all still good. But they've kind of fell to the back. And now I feel like Lil Yachty and Denzel Curry at the top. But that's just my little explanation of them as career-wise. But where was I getting with that? it's just such an iconic moment in history that. So the whole point of this XXL Cypher is to highlight artists, and obviously it doesn't always work out. It's like trying to support your friend who wants to go be a D1 athlete. It's like, yeah, guys, repost his highlights. He's gonna be good. And it's like he's never gonna go anywhere. But it's like, imagine you repost 5 of your friends' highlights, and all of a sudden they all freaking go to Alabama for football. That's literally what happened here. It's insane. I'm trying to think of a comparison for other people. It's like I guess George Lucas in Star Wars getting 5 pretty no-name actors. Mark Hamill. Oh my gosh, it's just the big 3: Han Solo, Princess Leia. Getting them all in a movie, and then, oh my god, they're superstars now. That's what basically it was in 2016. And the sad thing is that XXL Cypher was so good, we don't talk about him anymore. I haven't watched one in like 6 years, and if I'm gonna watch one, I'm just gonna watch the 2016 one again. It's sad. It's one of those things where something is so good that it can never be replaced. It's kind of like the year 2016, and you kind of just live in the presence of it and try to like nostalgia bait yourself into saying, oh, this is still good, not as good as 2016 though. It's always in the back of your mind. But it's weird. We don't have this organic sense of like artists anymore, because with the SoundCloud era and the XXL Freshman Cypher, it's like, okay, these guys are new, they're fresh. They didn't have 1 billion streams back then. They maybe had like 1 million to like they were just blowing up. Like, if you knew about them before 2016, you were like an underground, like you were probably that music savvy. You were music savvy. You were that guy who just put your friends on everything. But so after 2016, we got exposed to all these great artists, and it's like, wow. And we watched them grow. Like 10 years later, it's like, wow, Lil Yachty was kind of a joke then. He was good, but it was like his music was funny good. Now it's like, oh my god, he's an artist. He's winning Grammys. He's creating this crazy type of music that's just like blowing my mind. And then now we have like Denzel Curry. Like, I think Denzel Curry his favorite album mine came out in 2018, but I mean, obviously it started in 2016. And he's released some stuff lately that's really, really good. Just like, oh my god, artistically he's amazing. And it's weird because like you watch him grow. It's not like a family member, but it's that kid in your neighborhood who is always good at sports. And then you watch him grow up. You played a sport from here or there. He knows your first name, but it's like you guys weren't really close friends. But then he goes to high school, really good at sports, goes to a college, and boom, he's in the NFL. And it's like you have a sense of pride for him because like you watch them grow up. I don't know if that's like a universal experience. That was my analogy there though. And I feel like that was the thing about this XXL Cypher. It was so human. Like, we witnessed these kids who like, they were kids. It was 10 years ago. They were still young. They're probably maybe in their 30s now at most. They were young. And now we just watch them grow into these great artists, and like evolve, and they have all this money, and they still make music. They're still, I think, down to earth. I mean, from what I see of them. And like, they've kind of grown up with the internet, and they've seen it evolve, and their music evolved. And I think if you ask them about that 2016 XXL Cypher, ask them about SoundCloud, ask them about their old mixtape, I think they'll smile. And I think that's the great thing, the beauty of 2016. When you look back at it, you'll smile. You'll reflect that, that was a good time. And I was raw then, it wasn't the fullest version of myself, but I was content, and I was a better, not a better version of myself, but I'd say a balanced, a neutral, a grounded version. I think that I can go for everyone, especially these artists, especially for myself, just absorbing music from every genre, everything. That's the thing, like, going back to our little icebreaker, everything was still different back then. Nowadays everything's the same. Is it? Or do we just look at it that way? I think we've gotten to a point where our lens is that nothing is different. We're all the same, because we can't absorb anything over 15 seconds on TikTok, so we're all saturated by the same clips, the same videos that get 1 million likes, instead of what if we all watch different 20-minute videos? Think about how much different we'd be. Think about if we were all watching different freestyles online instead of the same TikToks. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm kind of just on a spew now. But the point is, guys, the 2016 XXL Cypher is the greatest freestyle of all time. And, regardless if you listen to hip-hop or not, I think you should go listen to it, give it a try. Maybe try out one of those artists. If you're not really into rap, I would definitely listen to Lil Yachty's 2023. I forget what its album's called, but if you guys do the research, I definitely think Lil Yachty is the most easy to consume for if you're not a rap person. It's kind of a crazy rock album. Like, it's a little hardcore, but I would recommend it. And then listening, I'd go Lil Yachty, Denzel Curry, Lil Uzi Vert, 21 Savage, and Kodak Black. Kodak Black's he's a little rough around the edges. So is 21 Savage, but it's definitely like, you definitely, if you have kids around my age, you've definitely heard Kodak Black, 21 Savage. They're not bad at all. They're great. They have some songs with Cardi B. That helps explain it to you. But I think Lil Uzi Vert, like, as a person, he's probably the nicest out of all of them. I think he's just such an innocent soul. 5'5", stand on my money, I'm 6'6". With that, guys, this is 2016, the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you go listen to some new music, and I hope you figured out what your favorite year of all time is. I mean, I already know what the answer is. It's obviously 2016, and if not, keep listening, and maybe I'll change your mind.